start recording. Everything says it's going. Okay. I'm live from my end. All my audio is there.
Okay, I've got the map up.
Alright. Hello. Thank you guys again for coming out and playing my game. Who wants to give us a little recap of what happened last week?
I guess I'll do it.
Alright.
A very basic one. Well, after we fell into the pit, we entered this cave and we met these people who called themselves the Forthstriders. We also found this boy named Braylon, and I am not going to let anybody hurt him. And yeah, we're just trying to figure out what's up with these dudes. And that's all I can remember.
Alright. So when you got into the cave, Justin, what happened next?
We began navigating through the Temple of Moving Stone. And we were initially walking down a long hallway when we heard the sounds of chains rattling and cages began falling on our head. Through some natural 20s, someone in our party was able to, that's someone being Carahill, get on top of the cages, and Tadias and myself, Bakriel, were able to push and pull cages so that they would fall down and clatter off each other. And then through DM tomfoolery, we circumvented probably about a half hour's worth of checks to make it past the trap.
Alright.
Thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for the excellent trap design.
Can't kill him.
Ventured further into the temple, or what we assume was some strange underground cavern. And we found a young boy who was pinned under rocks. There was a lot of debate on what we should do with him. I decided to remove the rocks. We tied him up. And then we killed bandits in the next room. Without the child being in there, because never kill people in front of children at that time.
Learned that lesson.
Yep. We found a weird floating rock, which ended up just being a patch of the ground, having a reverse gravity spell on it or something. Found some rats. Killed a weird dude named Orth, I think.
Grung? Grung or
Grund?
something. Yeah. Grung.
Grung.
Yeah.
Then he kept telling us not to touch some strange stones, so we went to a room and touched the stones, where this the spooky guy from the monastery came out and started casting spells at us, and summoned what I assume was a rock golem.
Sure.
We bested the beast, killed the man, and now we're heading back up to the surface.
All
Well,
right.
that's
That
right.
was Larak?
Yeah,
Yes.
Lyric. Right before the final blow was struck, he shouted some words at Illyria. Do you remember what those words were, Nix?
I can't remember exactly, but it was like blaming my brother for testing on something.
Right, so I will pick up where we left off. I'm going to put in natural cave sound effects just so that there's a little bit of noise and not complete silence.
We killed that thing. We killed that thing that reminds me of the river spirit. It had a shovel stuck in it.
Ah, yes, you did kill that creature. That creature that was some sort of walking mound of stone. And
If we
right,
just,
hmm?
if we
Wasn't
just
it sand?
shovel,
It was not. It wasn't sand. It was earth. It was rock. The Lyric casted a spell that created a wall of sand and trapped some of the party and held them up a little bit. So let me drag you guys back to the map. So immediately picking up where we left off, you
oh gosh, there we are.
Immediately before the final blow was struck, Lyric shouts out to Illyria, saying, "You elf, I recognize you. Your brother got what he deserved, tormenting innocent creatures." Hello?
Sorry, I was talking to my girlfriend. Give me a second.
Oh, you're good. Your brother got what he deserved, tormenting innocent creatures. You may defeat me. You might. And that is when Illyria gutted him with her short sword. He collapses and falls to the ground, bleeding out. And Weekly says, "Our cause is noble. You will not topple it, for we are like a mountain." And then he passes. What do you do? You see around you a rubble of a man, who is now crumpled and dead, and a rubble of once walking earth with a shovel that was sticking out of it, fallen onto the ground.
Hey, Dungeon Master, should we be seeing where we're at, or should our screen be black?
Bottom right.
Ping. How about now?
There we go. Still blank on the stream, so let's see how long it takes to get there.
How about now?
Oh, it's there now.
I have to open the window to make it do that. It's annoying. All right. So, maybe we should wait for Miles. I didn't realize he'd BRB. Well, does anyone else move to do anything?
I pick up the shovel.
Pick up the shovel? You pick up the shovel, and just picking it up, you can tell immediately that this is no ordinary shovel. It has some sort of magic associated with it. You can just tell by feeling it.
Okay. This is where I would turn to Miles, but not here, so...
Or you might be. Hello?
I'm here.
He is here.
Oh.
So you see Zachriel as soon as Lyric falls dead and utters a weak phrase about some cause he has before he passes. Immediately after, you see Zachriel walk over to the shovel that fell out of that earthen creature and pick it up. And then he turns to you.
There's something...
Is there something unique about the shovel?
Seems to be more your style.
I'll take a look.
Sort of presence. Don't really know much about magic.
I take the shovel from him and I kind of look it over real quick. Is there anything unique about the shovel? Arcana check or anything?
The shovel itself, it's I don't know, the blade, quote unquote. You know, the part that actually does the work.
Yeah.
It looks like it's seen a lot of use, but at the same time, it looks immaculate. Like, it seems like it hasn't been rusted or damaged in any way. It just seems like it's seen a lot of work.
Well, I can identify it later. It might not be the best time to do so, but why don't you hold on to it for me?
I can do this.
I'm sorry. What did Tadias say?
I can identify it later, but probably not the best time to do it now.
Okay.
Then I kind of pop a squat and take a look really closely at our new fallen dead friend and start looking them over, see if I can find any details or things that might be useful.
So you notice, looking this guy over, his armor is very interesting looking. It's sort of a gown affair, but as you're sort of examining it, it's all stone. It's not metal. It's just rock that's sort of shaped and formed really well into this weird suit of armor he has. It's like it's like a breastplate, and then a bunch of linked together by fabric plates of rock going all the way down.
Have I ever seen this sort of magic before? Someone utilizing this kind of defense?
It's not magical on its own.
No.
You're looking at it.
It's
just it's formed, but it's not like on its own. It's mundane object, but it just seems to be very well crafted, and you're not exactly sure how.
Curious. Our friend is this full of secrets, it appears. Does he have anything besides his casting implement that we can see? Pockets or anything on
that? He's got a glaive, which he used as a casting implement. Do you look over the glaive?
Yeah, I'll look it over. Con check, or do I just
no?
know things?
Well, for now, you look it over and you notice a gem that is sort of embedded in where the shaft meets the blade.
I guess I'll inspect the gem.
You looking it over, it doesn't appear to have any. At first glance, it looks pretty mundane to you.
Mm-hmm.
You can roll an Arcana check if you'd like.
I would love to do that. Let's do that.
Okay, so you recognize this as a ruby of the War Mage, which is just a pet name that the people that created these sort of objects called this thing. You know that this is an item that you can affix to a weapon, and it lets you use it as a focus, arcane focus. Any spellcasting focus, actually.
And is it easily removable, or is it actually pretty affixed to the glaive?
Right now, it seems to be pretty affixed to the glaive, but you know that there's a way to remove it.
I might have something sparkly for you later.
Woohoo! I like sparkly.
Yes, how do you feel about rubies?
Well, what's sparklier than me? A ruby. Perfect.
As long as you're happy. I don't want to see you upset. It scares me. And I kind of just stand up, look over to the group and say, exactly, do we want to investigate more of the ruins, or did we want to go meet with the militia and tell them of our findings?
I think that we should go back and let them know about our findings, because we've been down in this hole for a long time, and I'm ready to go home and take a bath and kind of get the road dust off me.
We also owe our friend the pie, don't we?
Pie.
Are there any markings and stuff on these stones?
Yeah, those are the dwarvish markings.
It's the dwarvish writing. Did you tell them that what the contents were?
I told them that it was kind of like graffiti.
Okay, yeah. So all the dwarvish, oddly worded slang and graffiti and kind of vulgar, colloquialisms. I can't ever say that word right. And some vulgarities.
It's almost like a dwarvish.
I touched the stone.
You touched the stone.
Yep.
It's nice rock, eh?
Well, they said not to touch them.
Oh. I don't remember them saying that. I remember them saying, ooh, that hurts, and falling over dead. That's about it. I want to, start walking out, check out. There's some bodies I see on the map. Are they actually there?
So these are, I'm pretty sure I described it, but I shall do it again. These what you're seeing are slabs of rock with bones strewn across them.
Okay.
And
So definitely not anything recent.
they
that
look,
would be
yeah, they look,
these-
they look very, very old.
Sweet. All right. Well, ready whenever you are to leave. I'm be very glad to be back in the sun.
I feel I should.
I have a question for Ilaria. He was talking to you about your brother. Do you know what he's talking about?
I have no idea. I just know we need to get to Forthstride now because I still don't know what's happened to him.
It doesn't sound good. And I pat Ilaria's hand and kind of hold it for a little bit.
All right, how do we get out of here?
I mean, we can climb out the way we came. I don't see any exits from here. We've already gone all the paths. We just got to say we have to move all those cages again. Fun as that is.
Oh, we could
No,
just go
we can
around.
go around.
Oh, right. I can do another flip. I excitedly walk briskly towards the zero gravity area.
Okay, you guys are gonna walk back.
Yeah.
So, group your tokens together, or just move them to the previous room, because you
Alright.
see as you walk through the hallway. The couple of the boy and what was his name, Vargas, that you found, Vigaris that you found. You have them hogtied. You see, as you just sort of come around that threshold. Let me ping for. Oh wait, I don't have to do that, do I? I have to move the camera. Okay. And then I need to do that, and then I need to do that. Hold on. Okay. As you come through, you see several armored, not heavily, but well-armored men inspecting the carnage around here, along with the boy and Bar Augustus. The one who's the most well-armored, who you note is a Goliath, kind of looks up at you. And as I think Zachariel might have been the first in, he says, oh, and you know what? I messed this up. Stand by. You also see... Milo's there.
Ah, look at that.
And he smiles at the lot of you, and the heavily armored Goliath. Some of you almost recognize him. Everyone except Carehill, roll me a history check.
Not awful at those. All right.
Okay. You all recognize him as Marshal Trinsku Gorbash. He is the marshal that oversees the industrial block in Forthstride. The industrial block being the industrial area where the elemental guilds are.
Can you write down his name?
I can.
Us being from the city, do we know, like, regionally where that district is? Is it closer to the entrance we were heading to, or is it on, like, the far side?
It is
Maybe, like,
close to the
spots.
entrance you were headed to.
Copy.
You pretty much enter, and you see the hill that it's on, right in front of you, immediately to the north, and so he is looking over this, and he looks at you, and Milo kind of grins, and he looks to Milo and then to the party, and he says, "Milo, are these your friends?" And Milo says, "Yes, I traveled with them from Rolid." And Trinsku looks to you, and he kind of gives a sad grin, and he says, "I suspected something was amiss here, especially when I heard some townfolk had gone missing." And he kind of just shakes his head. "Who keeps records on stone tablets anymore? There's parchment. It's so much lighter."
I mean, they're going for the scary cult thing, so maybe the stone works better for them.
He says,
Yeah.
"Oh, go on."
Oh, I was going to ask him exactly how many people have gone missing recently.
He says, he looks like he has a lot on his mind already, and he's just trying to remember that specific detail. And
I would have assumed someone like you, Marshall, would enjoy lifting heavier things.
he says, he says, "Oh, I do, but not for keeping paperwork. It's in the name, paperwork."
Oh, you're
Stonelock is a
making me
name as well.
laugh, Marshall.
What did Hum say?
Stonelock. Oh, sorry, you said Hum.
Hum just kind of laughs and jokes around with the Marshall about maybe it's not always been called paperwork.
He goes, "Oh, I suppose you're right. Well, anyway, you did good by exploring this down here." And he sort of kind of like gestures a little bit as Milo comes up, and you hear one of the corporals with him. You recognize their rank, Zachriel, despite not being in the militia. You know. Sorry, that was loud. You know how their rank system works more or less, and you recognize everyone with him are corporals. And Milo kind of pipes up and says, "I had to go into town to find you. Where's Marshal Chanzel? Doesn't he deal with the problems outside of Forthstride?" And then you see Gorbash kind of roll his eyes and answer with a smile, "He's on leave. But later this evening I want to pay him a visit. He'd want to hear about this."
Well, as you can see from what you've seen already in this place, a couple of these individuals probably need to be persecuted and prosecuted for certain reasons. But, and I point to our new friend, that one right there was actually essential to us bringing down this ring of human sacrificers.
Who are you pointing to?
So if you, the young boy, that we pulled out of the rubble.
Braylon.
It is a B word.
You hogtied him, right?
Yeah, we tied him with the other ones to make sure he didn't release them.
No, we hogtied the others. We did not hog-tie Braylon.
Okay, so
we
Braylon
just tied up his hands pretty much, just so he couldn't release the other ones in case.
Okay,
Yeah,
so Braylon, he just sort of stands, and he looks kind of afraid. He looks at the marshal, and he looks to you, and he just he meekly says, "What's gonna happen to me?"
Nothing. Don't worry.
And
I'm going to vouch for you. You've done nothing wrong.
The marshal sort of echoes your sentiment. He says, "Nothing. You're caught in a very bad place, my boy. I'm so sorry, but we'll get it set right for you. Don't worry." He says, he looks at the party and says, my corporals and I are going to investigate further. We've sort of apprehended several of the monks on the surface. Hopefully we got them all. We don't really keep track of them, but we'll handle this."
Well, there's none left down here.
Good to know.
Oh, there's a body in the next room.
Oh.
Unfortunately, there's some bodies in a lot of rooms. We didn't mean to, but it was kind of necessary.
He kind of gestures behind the statue, like looking at the corpses are all sort of piled in a pile in the corner of the room. He says, Self-defense, I take it. He kind of gives you an eye.
Why, of course it was self-defense. We would never hurt somebody on purpose.
You can
For no reason at all.
you can tell that he doesn't suspect you of like any foul play at all. He just kind of nods and says, "Oh, very good. I'm glad you've exposed this. It could have gotten
Well,
much
Marshal,
worse."
Just here on
Marsh-
Wayshield business.
He kind of cocks his head.
Marshall, have you ever heard of the First Riders?
He gets a confused look. He says, "The first writers? No."
This is what the group is claiming to be following is the First Riders. And I'm wondering, this is happening in your town.
So he kind of gestures to a corporal next to him who pulls out a small leaf book with parchment and starts scribbling notes. He says, "Go on. This is important."
We also know, sir, we didn't get rid of all of them. This boy's father, he's here. Right? This boy is here because his father is a member. I don't believe we took care of his father.
He says, "As I said, we apprehended some of them on the surface. At least 5 of them."
Marcia? Did one of them happen to be named Melondo?
He kind of screws up his face. No. Wait, I'm going to PM you next.
Whispers.
Take you another room real quick. Actually, I could do that if I wanted to. But PM was okay.
Whatever is faster.
Oh, is that a name of one of the names the kid mentioned? Next. Did you remember
Yes,
that? And I
The
didn't.
leader?
He says, thank you. You get inspiration for remembering something that I didn't.
Woo.
He says, well, yes, he seemed pretty perturbed, but he was quite accommodating when I had all of my corporals behind me. He gives a smile. He says, he's back up on the surface, manacled.
I'd like to talk to him if I can.
I don't see why not.
Lyria, did you want us to come with, or did you want to deal with this privately?
We have your back.
Whichever you prefer. I know it's personal.
You guys can come.
All right.
And Marshall?
He says, yes.
You came straight from Forthstride, right?
He says, well, it's about a 10-minute walk up the road.
Did you hear anything about solid strides?
He kind of gets this, he kind of goes, know about the incident that happened a couple of days ago, yes.
My brother, he was there. Do you know anything about that?
He kind
Did you
of,
find him?
he kind of like gives you another look, and he says, oh, are you the owner's brother?
Yes.
He kind of screws up his face and goes, he's alive. He kind of puts his hands up. He's alive. He's resting right now at his home. He got hurt very badly, but he made it, and he's resting right now. His assistant has taken over operations, as far as I'm aware.
Assistant?
He says, yes. I don't. Oh, he pulls out his own parchment, and he starts leafing through it, trying to get his name.
See, you remember if it was stone, because you'd be bothered by it. I kid. Just go.
What'd you ask him?
I said, do you remember if it was stone, because you'd be bothered by carrying it.
Oh,
Don't worry, I'm just teasing him.
he kind of chuckles at that. He says, right, Valian, his assistant. And Illyria, you recognize this name.
Okay.
It's Alatok's pretty much right-hand man. If he's the president, Valian is the vice president.
Okay.
So, Hum turns on her charm and she speaks to the marshal, kind of to let Illyria ask the question. She says to the marshal, "So, Marshal, you know, it would be really great if we could have some time alone with Orlando. Do you think that you could work that out for us, seeing that we've taken on this big task and found the trouble in your town?"
You don't need to roll a persuasion check. He says, "Oh, that's not a problem. If you go through back where you came, I imagine there's a little hallway, up through. It's kind of a dirty walk up, but it leads to a trap door under one of the houses. Orlando's right there. We have him manacled."
Well, perfect. What do you think, Illyria? Would you like to go talk to Orlando?
Yes.
And he gives you
Let's
this.
go.
He gives you this kind of like accruing eye. He says, "But don't rough him up."
Oh, I would never.
I'll watch him, don't worry.
He kind
I
of.
also would never do anything like that.
He kind of. He believes all of you outright, and he says, "No, all right. Well, go ahead. We're going to keep looking around here for any more information. We'll also take a look at that person you spoke of. That way." He gestures behind you.
Yes.
He
Yes.
says, "All right, thank you."
Marshal, before you go,
He says, "I'm not going. You are."
before we go, has there been any missing persons turn up lately?
He says, "Well, yes, there were about 11 by my count."
There a woman with a young child?
He kind of blinks and he says, "Well, that's, are you, oh dear." He kind of just looks at you. He says, "I heard a report about a woman and her child falling into the river, but it didn't seem, were they
Possible.
yours? Were they your family?"
Yes.
The reports I'd seen was that they fell into the river and something dragged them off. Outside of Forthstride isn't really our purview, and as far as I know, they combed the river in town, but didn't find their bodies or any sign of them.
But you said they were drug away from the river?
He says it is a very odd report. One of the corporals reported that he saw the water just sort of ebb out of the water, sweep them off their feet, drag them into the river, and then go the opposite direction of the river's flow.
It was no accident. That's an abduction. To what means of how they did it, I don't know, but we'll find them.
Hum pats Zachariel's hand. The good news is they didn't find him in the river. That means they are still alive, probably.
Yes, blessing.
Yes. They are.
Well, guys, let's go question this Marlando, see what he knows.
I'm quite tired of the stench. And I guess
Oh,
we,
Marshall, before we leave, I'm afraid in one of these caverns you may find some of your townspeople. And I'm very sorry.
He says, "Are you talking about those bloody bones?
Yes.
We've already found them, don't worry. We're well aware. It's unfortunate they don't have any identifying features left, except a hair here and there."
I'm sorry for your loss.
He says, "Some troubling times ahead, but we can handle it. We've been through worse. You all know this to be true. Many attacks from marauding monsters warded off, and such."
So I start moving forward towards the room.
Okay.
we'll follow him.
Okay. So,
As we're
go on.
as we're leaving, I go up to Braylon and tell him, "No, these soldiers are going to take care of you. Don't you worry."
He kind of
And we still owe you pie.
like looks. He nods as Carahel says that, and he kind of gives her a hug. And then when Hum says what she says, he kind of looks at her confused because she threatened him before. And then he just kind of thinks on it, and the idea of pie is appealing, so he just nods.
So that's a promise that we'll see you again, okay?
Okay.
We've done well. Hang your head high. I kind of pat on the shoulder and I start walking with him towards our new person to talk to.
Okay, so anyone else need anything to do in this room? Okay, so you guys walk through the cave to the entrance. You look up. You notice that it's approaching dusk. The sky is a deep violet. But instead of flying upward, because you can't do that, you follow the path through and up into the house. And I'll just move the thing to here because, come on, because there's no map for this. So, first thing you see is you come out of this trap door and kind of get up onto the floor of this small house. You see a man who is manacled to a chair, and looks like he tried to kind of get out, but it didn't look like it looked like it looks like he's a little too scrawny to really do anything about his disposition. He kind of looks at you, gives you a glare as you come out. What do you do? You do recognize this person as the one that tried to wave you off when the sinkhole opened up.
I'm gonna be quieted in the back. I think Illyria and Hum got this.
Yeah, I stay off to the side as well.
Hum just stands behind Illyria and is her backup, and I whisper, "You got this, Illyria. Find out what you need to."
Okay, I'm gonna walk up to him and be like, "So you're leader Milando, are you?"
He just kind of furrows his brow, gives you an angry look, and he says, I am leader of the Order of the Tablets, but soon I will be replaced."
Yeah, by Lorik. Don't worry, we took care of him.
And he kind of, you notice in that split second that he kind of falters a little bit. "You took care of him? What do you mean?"
You know, we took care of him. He's not going to be any problem to you now.
Well, he wasn't a problem at all. He showed us a new path.
Since when do monks like like to kill people.
And he kind of like shrinks at that. And he says, it was to show our devotion.
To whom?
Nix, were you going to answer? Because I'm assuming that there's, that delay because of your internet type.
No, sorry, I'm trying to write things down and reread them. And
Oh, okay. So Zachriel says what he says. And he looks to you, Zachriel, and he says, he kind of like gets a little bit more confident, and he says, to the Divine Mountain, of course.
Can I make any sort of history towards Divine Mountain?
It sounds like total nonsense to you.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It sounds like something somebody made up on the spot.
Does the Divine Mountain have anything to do with the first writers?
He says, well, that's just it. Lyric informed us that the first writers came from the Divine Mountain.
And you're looking for it?
He says, looking for it. No, we're worshiping it.
Hmm. I kind of quietly, aside. I don't think he's going to help us anymore.
I think he's been snowblowed.
Yeah.
The DM doesn't know exactly what that means. Snowblood?
The wool's been pulled over his eyes.
Oh, okay. He's been fully indoctrinated in whatever the heck.
For surezies. I'm just gonna pull out my little notebook and make a little, writing about you said it was the Magic Mountain?
Fine.
Divine Mountain.
Divine Mountain. Divine. All right, so Divine Mountain. Because literally I'm writing in my notes. Almost every time I say that, I actually write something in my notes.
Cool.
did you say it was a divine mountain of something?
No, he just said Divine Mountain. 2 words.
One was going to pay homage to this mountain. Where would they go?
He gets angry for a moment, and he says, well, Lyric was going to tell us, but you took care of him. So now we'll never know.
So you blindly take stock in something a man tells you, without knowing if it exists or where it is?
He kind of scoffs and says, you wouldn't understand.
I think you'd quite surprised at what I'd understand.
And he just
We
kind of,
really want to understand.
he just kind of looks away.
Is he sitting or standing?
He's sitting on a chair. He's manacled, and like his wrists are like locked in like the backing of the chair, so he can't get out of it.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of go down eye level with him. I'm gonna say, I did hear something that your precious Larek was going to replace you. What do you feel about that?
He says it was his rightful place anyway. I was happy to step down for him.
What made him so godly to you?
He said he says he could summon walls of sand from thin air. Is that not the mark of the divine?
Oh, Marlando, I am so sorry. That's just sign of magic.
He just kind of falters a little bit and says, it's powers granted to him by the Divine Mountain.
You know who else has powers divine? But you know else who has?
He sees.
You know who else has powers? Watch this. Tadias make the light happen.
Where do you want it? Should I put it on his nose?
Yes.
I'm gonna come over and I am going to just kind of boop him on the nose.
And he also sees Zachriel cast Produce Flame on his hand, and you do that, and he seems like he's trying to banter back, but he looks like he's starting to, his world's crumbling around him, and he says, "Those are just cheap tricks."
These are it is just a cheap trick, and I end my hide.
I'm sorry.
This-
What?
But so is summoning sand.
It is, unfortunately. I'm sorry you've been given this life, my friend.
He just
This
kind
is
of
no investigate for some sort of reason better than divine mountains and first writers.
he just kind of
This
clams.
is no trick.
He clams up.
This is no trick. For you to believe in a divine mountain, I gained this power from my heritage.
He just kind of looks away. He looks beaten. He looks defeated.
Orlando, you are a good man. We know you're a good man inside. Tell us, who else believes in this lyric? Where are they?
He says, "Well, if the marshal hadn't gotten to them, there's at least 5 of us."
Care to share their names?
So he rattles off the names, Lyric, and all the ones that Braylon said to you.
Are
Which
there no more?
he sort of he shrinks more and he says, "We are a small order."
I don't know that he'll be any more help. Ilaria, was there something
Yep.
was important
So,
you needed to get?
Milando, your precious Larek said something to me quite troubling, actually.
He's just sort of
First,
yeah.
do you must know my brother?
He kind of squints at you and he says, no, not particularly."
I don't remember Ilaria's brother's name.
I can't either. Hang on.
Altosi?
Yes, sorry, Altosi.
So you say that name, and he just kind of his eyebrows furrow a little bit, and he says, "The owner of Solid Strides." That's all I know, really.
Yes.
He just says, "That's all I know, really."
I think you know more than that.
He just kind of he blinks a little bit, and he says, I know they work with stone, but that's really all I know."
You heard nothing about the incident with Altosi?
He says, some sort of accident, I heard from people traveling back and forth, but I don't know the details.
Well, somehow your precious Larek didn't like my brother too well. Said some rather mean things.
That made it sound like maybe it wasn't an accident.
And I was with my brother when that happened. So now you have a very pissed off sister.
He just kind of cowers and shrinks in his chair, and he says, I don't know anything. I really don't."
Larek said he blames my brother for Or my brother got what was coming
What?
to him.
You kind of look at his face, and he just doesn't seem to really comprehend what you're saying.
So you know nothing.
He kind of just shakes his head and says, "No, only the teachings Lark brought us about the Divine Mountain." Zachariel, you can tell that he's not lying. He's being genuine with that insight check.
All right. This man knows nothing. His faith has been shattered. His prophet has been killed.
Then he's no use to me.
Well, let's let the marshal deal with him then. I'm sure that the marshal has something to say about the townspeople who were killed.
I'll find my answers elsewhere.
So you guys leave?
Well, we can tell that he's telling the truth and he knows nothing. He has nothing to share with us.
Okay, just tell me what you're doing.
Larry, should we go check on your brother?
Oh, yes. So we're in Forthstride now, right?
Okay, so you guys leave the house. You guys walk the rest of the 10-minute walk.
As we leave the building,
Yes.
Carol stops and says a prayer for all the dead inside.
Okay. Say again.
I said, but that's all.
You whisper your prayer as you guys leave this house, and you see the sinkhole, and you look to the horizon, and to the west it's a deep purple, and to the east is the sky is darkening from blue to navy to a black. You see stars begin to show up in the sky. And you walk, and you make it into Forthstride, and let me bring you to the map. So, well, that's too far. All right. So you guys are here at this gatehouse. It's sort of a archway affair. You walk inside with no trouble. The corporals on duty just kind of give you a nod as you proceed in.
Sorry, where are we?
Right here. Right
North of the river, east side.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
How close am I to my home here?
So, in order to get to your home, you would have to go through this gateway, go across the bridge, and take a walk through the what is affectionately referred to as Akatown, which is the housing that mage students use around this area, where where Aldak Center for the Arcane Arts is. Just walk through the lane, and you would find yourself in Vardos Lane right here. And among these row of taverns is Twiddles and Fiddles, along with Poor Decisions and others. So I'm going to say that you guys get to, before I ask what you're doing. Come on, I want to move this thing. Let me move the arrow, please. For some reason, I can't move the arrow. Hold on, stand by. Okay. All right. So you guys get to there. What Illyria? What do you do? What are you planning on doing?
I wanna go home, check on my brother.
Okay. So you know that your brother has taken over one of what is referred to as worker houses that surround the business, or surround the elemental guilds on top of this hill. So you hike up the hill here, which is just it's kind of a rough slope, but it's not really any problem getting up there. And I'm assuming, I'm pretty sure that your character would have a key to this house.
Mhm.
You open the door, and you walk inside, and you make your way to your brother's bedroom, and you see him in bed, covered in with like splints in several places on his body, and he kind of the light inside is very dark, only one candle, but it's not any problem for you because elf. And he sees he hears and then opens his eyes, and he gives a half of a grateful like hello sound, but at the same time it's pained. He goes, "Oh, Illyria."
Oh, thank goodness you're okay.
He says, I'm fine. I just need some. The clerics say I need some bed rest."
Oh, don't talk. You rest up and I'll be back in a bit.
He just kind of nods slowly.
Okay, so am I alone or am I with the group?
I mean, if you took anyone with you, you're there with you. But you know, is anyone doing anything? Let me go around the table before I like do scene by scene. Was anybody gonna go with Illyria?
If I
I
wasn't
actually
invited,
followed.
Okay, so Hum's with you. Anyone else?
unless she like specifically asked me to, I'd assume she wanted to be private.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
Kara has no idea what she's doing or where she is or where she's
So
going.
Hum is just
So she
dragging
would
her
go.
along with.
Does Carahill allow herself to be dragged along with?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What is Tadias gonna do?
I'm gonna look at my friend Zachary and I'm gonna ask, where are you going tonight, my friend?
Well, I have a home here, but would like to report to the Way Shields just to let them know I'm alive, and I'll be taking an extended vacation.
An extended hunting vacation, I assume.
Yes. Would you like to see them?
Well, I'd like to help you, so if you need me, but
Well, do you have somewhere to stay?
I have a place. I go there when I am in the city.
Okay.
Okay.
Have
So
you ever been to the Way Shields?
I'm sorry. I'm letting you guys RP before I.
Oh, was he asking me something? I thought you were saying you were heading off to the Windshields.
Have you ever been there?
No, I've never been to the Windshields.
Quite the sight.
Well, if you don't mind giving me a tour, I've got nothing better to say.
Zachary, you know that the headquarters for the Way Shields is little more than an armory and an office.
Yeah, but I imagine I have to like. I'm expecting people to miss me.
Oh, for sure. Okay, got it. Okay, so I'm going to shift the scene over to Illyria, and I'm going to prioritize your stuff next, just because you're not going to be here next week, just in case we don't move on out of the city.
Right,
I want to
okay.
make sure that your stuff's all done, so that you don't feel like you're missing out. So the scene dissolves back into that sort of mass-produced house that Illyria's brother decided to just sort of buy up. It's actually like a duplex, but he has apartments in there for Illyria and himself, and any other members of your family that decide to drop in. So last we left them off, the three of them were in brother's room, or I assume Hum and Carahill were probably standing at the threshold, the door, while Illyria went in. So we're back at that scene. What do you do?
I guess I like invite Hum and Carahel in. You guys want some tea?
Oh, no, thank you. Carahill's more consumed with just looking around.
I would love a glass of tea. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm gonna get hum some tea.
Okay. It's no trouble. The house is well stocked. You just brew some tea and serve it to her.
So, Illyria, what happened? I just don't understand.
You and me both. I gotta wait till my brother comes too a little bit, and I can get some more answers from him. All I remember was that he was showing me something in his business, and then boom, I wake up in that forest, and then I meet you guys, and wow, good adventure there, wasn't it?
Illyria sort of remembers as she's saying all this that she can also talk if she's a little impatient. She can also talk to Adalok. Crap, I'm gonna mispronounce his name.
Oh, the assistant. No.
Altosi's assistant, Valian, whose name is spelled like this.
Well, maybe we should talk to his assistant. What do you think, Illyria?
Oh, yes,
Just
for
get
sure.
some answers. I'm confused.
Okay, so what time of the day is it?
It's night now. There are stars in the sky. The
Okay,
sun
and
is well
Valiant.
below the
Okay,
horizon.
so
And you know that they closed up shop by now for sure.
okay, as soon as this morning, maybe we'll head on over and talk to the assistant. You guys are welcome to come, of course.
I would love to. What about you, Carahill?
Huh? Oh, sure.
Was there anything else you guys need to do in Forthstride?
Well, I should definitely check in at Twiddles and Fiddles. You know, my place is up there and I haven't paid my rent this month.
Well, I was actually coming to Forthstride to meet up with an old friend of mine. He sent me a letter. He's at this place that he's studying magic. Achu, I think it's called. He said he's been working on something, studying something, and he thinks he's found something out.
Well, it sounds like maybe we should all just get some rest and meet again tomorrow morning over at Altosi's shop.
Well, sounds good to me. Oh, do you guys know where the boys went?
I heard Zachariel talking about needing to check in with the way shields, so I would guess that he's probably somewhere around there.
You know vaguely enough where their headquarters are in Forthstride. Both of the characters who have lived in Forthstride for longer than an hour.
Okay, before the group disbanded.
I'm sorry, what was that, Brittany?
I was saying those who aren't calling Aka Achu.
Yeah, I caught that joke. This is good. What are we asking next?
Before we all kind of went our separate ways here, did we talk with the others? The other two?
Nope.
Zachariel?
Nope, you didn't.
Didn't seem like it.
To see
Yeah, it's just
if we're going
kinda-
to meet up again?
Do you feel like you would have?
I feel like we would have.
Hey, Tadias. What do you think we'll ever see them again?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, that home one's scary. She'd stand out anywhere, and I assume, being a bard, she probably ends up pretty close to where I stay.
You know, I wasn't going to say it around her, but with such a small person, she's quite terrified.
I think she enjoys it. I think it makes her really happy when I mention it, so
She would make a great mercenary.
You agree to anything, honestly.
Okay, so is there anything else the ladies want to do?
Probably just sleep after that long walk.
Okay. So I guess Illyria, you're gonna bed down in your home for the evening.
And I tell Ilaria and Carahill, I live over Twiddles and Fiddles. So if you're looking for me, you can meet with Gizo. He's the owner, and he'll know where I am.
Oh, okay.
And you're more than welcome to come stay with me, Carahill. It's small, but I think you'll fit.
Okay, sure.
So Hum lives in an 8x8 room above Twiddles and Fiddles.
8 by 8 feet.
I mean, as a gnome saying small, so that checks out.
Carahill's only 5'4", so she's not that tall. I mean, her horns probably make her a little tall, but
You're not striking your head on the banisters or anything.
Scraping your head on the banisters.
Just don't turn on the ceiling fan.
So while
We have ceiling fans. All right, okay.
So while Carahill and Hum are strolling through the town, we'll take the scene back to Tadias and Zachriel. In fact, I'm going to drag your tokens onto the page so that
Ooh.
we can mark where you are in the city.
Okay.
Yay.
Something I've done before, so I'm just going to copy paste.
Yeah, because I still don't know where the hell I am.
Yep.
Well, is this map in the objects layer though?
The map
I guess
is,
we'd still end up on top of it. I guess
the map is on the map layer.
it is on the map layer. All right, so we just remove the grid.
I'm a competent roll-20er. Give me a moment. I'm going to do a couple things with your tokens. I'm going to remove.
I'm not. I just like roll20 when it comes to maps. At least making them.
Oh, I drew this in Inkscape and then imported the entire thing. So
That would be easier for sure.
okay, so I'm going to remove your bars, and then because you won't need them here. That's not what I want to do. Okay. I'm gonna do this for everybody. So you guys can take maybe 5 if you want while I take care of this.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I'll be right back too.
I think I'll go let this yipper outside real quick.
Okay.
Shouldn't take longer than 5 minutes.
Okay. Meanwhile, I'm going to switch to this one. Do. That feel when unexpected RP happens and you have to be thinking on your feet. Okay. So Illyria is here. And Carahill. Get a refill and then I'll be ready.
So good news.
Yeah.
Our stream is staying tonight. It's
And I'm back in.
moving slower than the. So good news.
Yeah.
Than we are. We have a nice little 30-second pause between, but nothing bigger.
Yeah, not too much.
That's the norm, so I'm not really worried about that. It actually looks
Mhm.
really good.
It really does.
The girlfriend's actually watching in the other room. I was just going over to check on her, and it wasn't far behind at all.
The visual delay is a little bit behind, though.
Yeah, I just saw that.
That's a shame.
I'm back.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Is everyone here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Justin?
We waited for Justin, I think.
Oh, did he
Sorry.
have
Mm-hmm.
DRD? Okay.
I'm surprised my computer's.
Oh, I'll be right back again.
Okay. Crepe.
So, Mike, I ended up getting all three of those bags: the bag of tricks, the bag of holding, and the bag of devouring of the dice.
Huh?
The 3 bags of the D&D dice.
Oh.
I ended up ordering all 3.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So for our Sunday game, we have 60 pair of dice to choose from.
Wow. Sounds good.
Back again.
Makes it good for when you need dice jail.
How I roll, I would run through that 60 real fast.
Dice voodoo is not real.
I'm way better at roll 20. You give me some actual dice. You ask any player I've ever
Dice
DM'd
Mojo
for.
is real. Dice Voodoo is not real.
Your dice don't behave better after you jail them.
That's true. Your
Always.
your dice always
It's not correctional.
your
Yeah.
dice always reflect your attitude.
Although, I usually roll pretty bad on roll 20, and I played in person for the first time in like 6 months today, and I was rolling hot fire. Like my first roll was an 18, second roll was a natural 20,
Monster.
and then 4 or 5 more natural 20.
Jeez.
I'm happy if I see a second digit in real life.
Okay.
I'm lucky if I see a second roll.
Just gotta have the right attitude. All right. So, we cut back
Nixie
to.
isn't back, is she?
Yeah, I am.
There she is.
Oh, I didn't hear. How did I?
Yeah,
know?
I was technically here.
All right. So, it's definitely night out. So Zachriel and Tadias, as you guys sort of cross, you guys sort of make your way up the roads. You can hear that there's liveliness going on down this way because this is Vardos Lane. I'm assuming you continue past it for now and make your way up here.
I
No.
don't see the
Change maps.
Oh, I didn't change maps.
Yeah, we're on the elemental.
All right. And then I need to make sure the stream updates. Okay.
My little token, it's also small.
Okay.
I think along the way to the headquarters,
Mhm.
there's some things Zachary would like to chit chat with Tadias about.
By all means.
If we're doing that, Tadias, you're quite skilled with the blade. What did you learn?
Yeah, I kind of picked it up at a necessity. My family has been explorers, adventurers, archaeologists, and dangerous ruins, bandits, attacks from wild beasts. You kind of have to learn the way to defend yourself.
I suppose that explains your affinity with magical items as well.
They're interesting. They're valuable, and the history behind them can lead to even more amazing finds. You know, danger surrounds everything we do as adventurers, but the more danger, usually the greater the find do as well. But how about you? How did you end up in the Way Shields?
It's a long story, really.
You got a long walk?
Well, when I moved here, I happened upon one of their members who was being accosted by bandits and charged into the fray, saved his life, and just kind of history.
That wasn't a very long story, friend.
Well, there's more to it.
Well,
I'm not from these lands.
Ah, I see. Well, whenever you feel like giving me all the details, I'll be ready.
Can't tell all of our stories at once, can we?
We'd be boring if we did. So what does Whale Shield's headquarters look like?
So, by the way, you guys can move your tokens. It's
Oh,
should
you want us
be
to
able-
walk you?
well, you can. I'm just saying you can move your tokens.
Okay.
And it's right here. Let me just put a little marker on it. So you guys walk up. Way Shields is a plain building. The only thing that would, the only way you would know that this is the Way Shield headquarters is little symbol, not little. There's like a wooden plaque that's painted, and it's affixed to the door. Looks like. Can I shift ping, please? Oh, it looks like this. It's down at the corner of the map.
Ah, okay.
And you don't hear much activity on the inside. You're in front of the door. Do you go in?
Yeah, I opened the door for him.
Okay, you open the door. First thing you see as you walk in is there's a little desk that looks like it's for sort of a receptionist desk. And sitting behind it there is just a human male who's just kind of looks like he's on duty. He sees you, Zachriel, and he kind of like he looks taken aback. You don't really recognize this kid. He looks like he is a fresh.
Green.
He looks like he's a rookie.
Okay.
And he just kind of looks. He looks taken aback seeing you. He recognizes your flaming hair, and he just kind of says, "Zachriel," and then what do you say?
Yes. Sorry. Are you new?
He says, I just got a job at the front desk here. I don't really want to go out from Forthstride, but there's someone here that wants to see you." And then you see a figure sort of further back in this hall, sort of by this well-kept armory. He looks like he's hanging up a long sword. He turns around, and Zachriel, you recognize Gordon.
I quickly whisper over to Dice, "Get ready for this."
All right.
Gordon sees you, Zachriel, and he looks very relieved. He walks up to you, and he says, "Oh, Zachriel, it's good to see you again. Are you all right? You left
Yes, Gordon.
in much too much of a hurry."
Yes, very rash as usual. Sorry, you know, they mean everything to me. And I haven't found them yet, but I will. This is Tadias. Yeah, him and 3 other wonderful ladies saved me.
He extends his hand to you, Tadias.
I shake his hand.
He says, happy to meet you.
Good to meet you as well.
He kind of just, his shoulders kind of slump. And he looks at Tadias and he looks to Zachriel and he says, why don't you grab a drink with me? You look like you've been through hell.
No, I never turned down a drink.
If you got nothing better, let's go.
So he sort of like, he looks to the kid, and he says, Gwyn, just mind the shop, and if anything happens, give a shout for Corporal, and you'll be fine. You're a strong kid. The kid kind of looks at him and just kind of nods. He gets up, he walks over to the armory and just picks up a short sword from the stack and just kind of places it, leans it next to the chair by his desk, and he just kind of says, "All right." And
Just remember, boy, it's the pointy end. Make sure you hit him with that.
he kind of blushes at that, like embarrassed. He's just like, "Yeah, I know." So Gordon starts to usher both of you down toward Vardo's Lane. And I like to think that it's at that point where here Gordon, oh no, I didn't want to do that. Gordon, Thaddeus, and Zachriel, and as well as Hum and Carahill meet up at that area. Serendipitously.
Wait, hold on, friends. Hum! I gotta wave over to Hum.
Matthias, where'd you guys go?
Zachariel was nice enough to head for a drink with his friend.
You know, we're headed to Twiddles and Fiddles where I live. You are more than welcome to come drink there. I'm sure Gisa would be so happy to meet all of you.
Thaddeus, you know that Twiddles and Fiddles is, as they like to be accommodating, but they are very much a halfling bar. Everything there is halfling sized.
I'll sit on the floor, I guess, and I smile and say, everyone else comfortable with sitting on the floor and getting some drinks?
Gordon sort of chuckles and he says, they do make a strong ale.
That's all we need.
Carahill looks confused on why they would be sitting on the floor.
You'll see, friend. Don't worry.
Hum, Carahill, this is Gordon. He's an old friend of mine.
It's so very nice to meet you, Gordon.
And you hear a dog in town just kind of bark a little bit, and then their owner shushes them.
Cute dog.
And Gordon politely extends a hand to each of you, gives handshakes. He says,
Hum shakes his hand very warmly.
He says, happy to meet you as well.
These are 2 more of the ones that saved me from... I have no idea what they were going to do, but the short wasn't good.
Where's
Yes.
Valeria stayed with her brother. He's not in very good shape.
Understandable.
You know, it's strange. All of you live in this town, and I've never seen any of you.
I mean, not quite a bit.
You probably have in passing, but it never really clicked because they weren't of any significance to you.
Yeah. Although, you do seem familiar, Hum. We went down that way a lot. A lot of poor decisions.
I do believe that this is the name of the road of poor decisions.
It's also the name of one of the taverns. And it would be, you know that you know this, Hum, that it would be a little bit of a rival to Twiddles and Fiddles. If it wasn't for the fact that they garner a mostly medium-sized humanoid audience, as in not halflings or gnomes.
Larger glasses, larger bellies.
Larger seats, larger tables. So,
Smaller act.
yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh. Some fighting words. So,
Burning.
you guys make your way down Vardos Lane, and there's a lot of activity. You hear a lot of different melodies and harmonies on the breeze. Hum, you lead them to Twiddles and Fiddles, I assume.
Absolutely.
So Twiddles and Fiddles is actually this one right here. Right across from right across from the Stone Giant stage.
Do we cross by the poor decisions bar?
You do. It's actually right. You do. It's actually right here.
Okay, so when we get there, Zachary just kind of stops in front of it and stares at it for a few moments before continuing on.
Friend, something wrong?
It's that was our favorite place to go.
Interesting.
So, the doorway to Twiddles and Fiddles, most of you have to duck to get in.
Yeah.
But it's very lively inside. There's a lot of... Where'd it go? I added it. Where'd it go? Oh. And oh, that's good enough. Okay, so you guys enter. It's lively. There's music. What do you do?
I'm just gonna follow Hum's lead because
Carol,
I'm probably already bumping into people.
you notice as you walk in that the chairs in here look like they're made for children.
Hum walks in and starts shaking hands and hitting people on the back and screams, "Barkeep!" and some drinks.
You see, sort of coming out of the back room and up to the bar is a familiar face, the face of Gizo the Halfling, who owns this establishment. He says, "Hum! How are you doing?"
Giso, I'm home! I'm good. I don't know.
he
I
says-
was kind of bad.
He kind of, he was about to say something and he kind of just froze his brow. He says, "How was your time in Rollid?"
Uneventful, but the ride home was quite interesting. I have so much to fill you in on.
He produces some glasses from beneath the bar. He looks around at your companions. He says, are these large fellows your friends?"
Yes, so this is Zach Rael, and he is part of the Way Shields.
Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you.
My
Yes, you-
friend Tadias, who thinks I'm really scary.
I don't know how this is up for debate. She's absolutely terrifying.
Gisa just kind of giggles because he knows that I'm not actually terrifying. I'm just a big bundle of bubbles.
Yeah.
She's not wrong. He
I don't doubt it. Yeah.
As you're introducing all of them, he starts pouring a glass for every person you introduce.
This is my friend Kara Hill. She's a monk. She doesn't know much about who she is or where she's at. But she's here to see a friend, and she's gonna sleep with me.
Carol brightens up and he says, "Hi, hi."
When she says that she's gonna sleep with me, Zachary kind of like chokes on a bit of his drink.
Oh my. And this is their friend Gordon, and you know Gordon. He's with the Way Shield.
He says, he says, I've heard of you. You're what they call a veteran. And Gordon just kind of gives him a solemn nod. He kind of reaches down and picks up one of the glasses and takes a big swig of it. And then you see him start to fish in his coin purse. And Giza says, "Oh no! It's on the house." And then he looks at Hum and he says, "But you," he kind of like has his eyebrows raised.
I have the money from Rollid. It's all yours.
He says, Good. I need to look something up so I can actually give you a price. By the way, how'd you guys split the money? That needs to happen.
I don't think we have.
Okay.
Probably once we all reconvene for future adventurings.
Okay, at this point, I won't worry about it, and I'll just have one of you guys deduct from the
Party
fund.
treasure. Yeah.
So... he says 6 gold. For the month.
Right. No problem. I got that. And she just takes that out of what she already had. She stays away from the money the group has.
Okay. And he just takes it, puts it down, and then he just smiles and says, "First round's on the house."
Can I play a set for a second round?
He says, he kind of like, he raises his eyebrows and he just gives you this challenging look, and he just says, "Oh, if you play well."
You know me, I'm always good for a good performance.
He says, "Then hop on stage." And you roll the check. And that check is 14. The patrons all sort of dance along with your piece. And, they're still having a good time. And when you would return to Gizo, he would tell you that half of the round is on the house and half of the round is on you. But while you're playing, Hum, does anyone care to, speak while she's playing? Because it is a set. It's about 10 minutes probably or something.
Look at that. Our little gnome is quite talented, eh?
Yes. She's not only terrifying, but exceptionally skilled with performance.
So, Carol, will you be comfortable here?
I believe so. Nobody seems frightened by me, so.
And you did see, as you
Nothing.
were walking through town, you did see several tieflings. They're just, or tieflings, whatever, walking about town, just minding their business. No one seemed to pay them any mind.
Well, you've been nothing but kind to everyone you've ever met, so I see no reason for them to fear you. And I'm going to sip my probably unusually small drink, practically sake glass.
It's actually not too small compared to what you would receive at Poor Decisions.
Then that makes me happy.
So Gordon says to Zachriel, as a few minutes before Hum's set ends, he just kind of like takes a big drink, finishes it, sets it down, and he says, Zachriel, I think you should take a break from jobs for a while.
Are you sure? I'm only one away.
He says, you need time to regather yourself.
Strange for you. I would have assumed an old dog like you would want me to work harder.
He kind of chuckles a bit, and he says, Zachriel, I've been in your position before, and there's a moment where it affected my work, and someone got hurt because of it. And I don't want the same thing to happen to you.
Yes, I will take caution in your warning.
He kind of he puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, that's all I ask.
One away from Brown, though.
It'll
Hard.
be here for you when you get back.
Well, I am taking a vacation.
He pats your shoulder. Good to hear.
Unfortunately, it will not be rest.
He kind of furrows his brows. You can tell that he's sort of disapproving of that, but he respects you enough to not push it. He says, if you must. He says, but
Thank you.
let me buy the next round for you.
Oh, you can keep buying them.
He pats your shoulder one more time, puts his hand at his side, and says, that's what I like to hear. He says,
Damn bugbears took all my gold. I don't know what they need with gold.
He says, I'm sure you'll find plenty more later. Gizo! And then that's when Hum gets back.
Okay. She takes her drink and takes a long swig.
I give like, that little. Well done. It's nice to hear you play.
She curtsies.
So, the night goes on. People keep other musicians play, and other dances happen. And how long you guys plan on drinking?
I'm pretty tired, and so I say to Cara Hill, come upstairs and I'll show you where you can lay your mat.
Thank you.
Then I bring her upstairs to this little 8-foot by 8-foot room. And on the walls are all these really spooky pictures, drawings from different artists. This is my collection, Cara Hill. I love spooky pictures.
They look very nice, she says with a nice grin.
I'm just kidding. The music.
And she shows Cara Hill where the restroom is. I don't have my own bathroom; it's a shared one, but there's a great big tub in there that you can have Giso fill up for a couple coppers, and he will. It's just wonderful.
Well, I'm used to shared bathrooms, so alrighty.
You look at the bathtub, and you notice that on it is a couple of different appliances, or no, yeah, we'll call them appliances from the different elemental guilds. There's a water heater that has the emblem of Simple Heat on it, which is a spiral that is glowing red from the center and radiates out. Kind of like, think of an electric stove. And then there's one from Clear Currents, which is a blue sort of blue rectangle with with like 3 squiggly lines. And yeah. Tadias and Zachriel, how many drinks are you guys gonna plan on having?
How many is this friend gonna pay for?
Got it.
I think that is the
So Gordon
correct answer.
Gordon pays for 6 rounds.
Sounds adequate.
Hum runs downstairs and says to the gentleman, I am so sorry for ditching you without saying a word. Cara Hill and I are going to take our leave, but you may find us here tomorrow morning.
Well, if we remember where we are, yes, I think.
Just remember the halfling style.
Yes. You may find us in possibly the militia drunk tank.
I would invite you gentlemen to stay, but Zachriel, I'm afraid you'd burn my room down. It's so tiny.
It's okay, I have a home. It'll be fine.
And you, Tobias?
Well, yeah, yes, I have place to stay. Don't worry. It was good seeing you. Enjoy your evening.
Goodbye, my drunk friend.
I like it.
Wow. Drunk to Dice is funny. Okay, so if you guys want to initiate any other scenes of dialogue, Gordon's pretty much done. He's just giving you all small talk.
I mean, I'm pretty content with where we're at right now. I don't think things reveal immediately. So,
Okay.
my friend, it's been an
oh,
enjoyable evening, but I probably should go lay my head down. Don't you think?
Yes, I agree, but you told me, so I will tell you. You learned how to fight out of necessity. I was born into it. I've been formally trained as a knight.
This is the life you wanted.
It was before I met her. Anyway, have a good night.
Zachariel, and I gotta grab him as he's. We're gonna find her. Trust me. Trust me. Trust the dice. We're going to find her. We're going to find your child. It's gonna be all right. Right?
Yes.
You have a good night. I have to go, and I kind of stand up.
I lean over to Gordon. Gordon, you might want to follow him and make sure he gets home.
I'm fine. Just I know I'm very close to where I need to be.
So Gordon just sort of like waits for Tadias to walk out the door. He looks at you, Zachariel, and he just kind of like strolls through all the halflings that are still dancing. He just kind of leans his head out the door.
Can I roll a perception check with disadvantage to see if I'm tailed?
Well, sure, you can roll, and I'll tell you what you see if you roll high enough.
Sure. Button. There's my button. Perception.
You said disadvantage? I'm going to make you
Oh,
do
yeah.
disadvantage.
I mean, it's funnier that way.
Yeah.
So I'll just roll it again.
Well, you're also very inebriated. Okay, so 11. So you look around and you just see Gordon with his head peeked out of the door. He's not following you. He's just watching.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to walk 2 doors down and just go into the bar.
And he just kind of blinks. And did you mention to him that that's where you stay?
Said anything to him?
Say again?
I have not said anything to him.
Yeah, I don't think you did. So he kind of like worriedly looks at Zachriel, and then he walks back and he says he went to another bar.
Be right back.
Well, I guess he's not done yet.
He says if he ends up in the militia drunk tank, I'll bail him out.
Very well.
And
Well,
then he says to you, you should get to bed.
yes. Bed.
All right, so you make your way to your little house outside of Forthstride easily enough. It's a quiet night. and it's kind of fucked up because it's an empty house. It's just you.
Yeah, when he goes in the house, he just kind of looks around and goes to the rooms where the beds would be and looks at them and turns around and walks outside, sleeps on the ground.
Damn. All right, Thaddeus and
Actually, I'd say he probably has a hammock, so he probably sleeps in a hammock or something.
Sure. Thaddeus and Zachariel, give me Constitution saves. This is just to see how bad your headache is in the morning.
That works. La 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 la.
Okay. Zachariel, you wake up and you feel in the morning. You wake up and you feel little. You know, you drank last. A dog wakes you up. Some random dog
sleep outside.
You did sleep outside, and some mongrel just wakes you up. You're shocked awake. Your body kind of aches just a little bit, but you don't have a headache. Thaddeus, you are shaken awake by your dad,
What do you need?
and your head hurts a little bit. And he says, "Welcome home."
Yes. It's good to be back. How are you doing?
He says, "Oh, we're good. Business is running well."
I don't doubt it. It was pretty packed in here. Oh, yeah, I'm still here. Oh. Sorry, I get too much from you sometimes. And I kind of stand up.
And when you stand up, you smell cooking eggs and bacon. And there's breakfast.
Is mother doing the thing again?
Remind me, what's her thing?
She babies me whenever I come back.
Oh. He grins and nods.
Sometimes why I don't want to come here.
And then
I'm a grown man, I'm an adventurer. I do things. Come back and eat eggs like little, flying dragons.
And you see your mother come out of the back, and she has a big plate of eggs and sausage and just puts it in front of you, and she says, "You need to eat."
I know.
We cut back to as Tadai stuffs his face. We cut back to Zachariel, who was shocked awake by a mongrel outside of his house.
Are we going back to him barbecuing the mongrel?
I don't know. What is he doing? Does he just wake up and... Justin, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Just wakes up and just kind of like sits on the hammock, staring at the house, and looks down at the dog. Reaches into his pack and takes out a piece of dry tack and tosses it down.
The dog just kind of takes it and starts nibbling on it. Let's cut to... oh, sorry. You have one more thing you want to do?
And he cracked it in half, so he just eats the other half and stares at the house.
We'll cut over to Illyria, who wakes up in her comfy bed.
I was kind of sleeping on the couch at my brother's right now.
Comfy couch. You have an apartment of your own in there with a bed and everything.
Yeah, I'd like to stay with my brother. I just,
Okay.
just came back to find out he's badly injured.
For sure. So you wake up on the couch and you're there, and nothing's amiss aside from your brother healing.
So I'm just kind of taking care of him for now.
Okay. Are you just gonna stay with him for now, or what do you plan on doing? Do you plan on doing anything? Do you plan on meeting up with the rest of the party?
Yes, because I did want to go to the business
Solid strides.
or talk to Valiant.
Okay. So are you gonna meet up with the party, or are you gonna go there on your own?
I'll meet up with the party first.
Okay. So then, when the timing's appropriate, I'll say that you show up. So let's cut to Hum and Carahill. You guys are awoken naturally by just the lighting coming from the outside and the sound of activity downstairs, mostly cleaning.
Good morning, Carahill. You want to come downstairs with me? Giso makes the best breakfast. Pancakes and bacon and eggs and sausages. It's just a feast galore.
Sure, that sounds good. I stretch and my horns scrape a little against the wall.
Makes that sound of like scraping like something against wood.
I'm sorry about that.
No. Don't you worry. It's okay. I don't have very many little friends, so I'm pretty used to people feeling cramped in my room.
It was a very nice night. I mean, I slept well.
Oh yeah, you get the benefits of a long rest and everything, just in case you didn't know that.
Giso runs a nice establishment. He's probably the nicest man I know in my life. So we stumble down the stairs into the big bar room.
I think when you
Giso is
cleared the
running
hit
around.
points from my icon, it cleared the hit points from my character sheet.
Yes.
Are you
Same. I was going to
serious?
say something too. Yeah, mine are gone.
Oh my god. Crap. And they're just gone. There's no. Oh crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
For level 2, I mean, how hard is it? It's one level.
Yeah.
And
And I can scroll. I can scroll up and see everyone's hit die thing.
I got mine. I remember the.
Mine
Oh, yeah.
too.
Okay. I'm gonna view all chat entries for this game.
11 plus 8 is 19 now. I should be able to pull up now. Yeah, if I have some time before we all meet up, I was going to try to, move this ruby outside of the glaive, kind of get it separate, so I can tweak it and add it to Hum's crossbow later.
You do. It actually fell off during the night.
No, that's easy.
By the way, for your rolling hit die, to get HP, and I found them. If you roll under the average, just take the average.
Cool.
I know that Illyria, and I think Carahill rolled under the average, so just take the average. The average will be the floor.
Do you want me to just roll again then?
No, I know what yours was. You rolled
What was
you rolled a 9, so you did.
That's good.
Yeah, you rolled a 9 plus 2, so.
So what was mine?
Yours.
I can't remember.
It's okay. Yours was you rolled a 4 on the hit die plus 2, but I'm gonna let you take the average, so it'll be 6 plus 2. So add 8 to the first level HP for your second level HP.
All right, perfect.
I'm sorry about that.
It's all good.
I just wanted to get rid of the bars because they weren't necessary on this page.
So what did I roll?
You rolled a 3, so take 5 plus 1 instead.
Okay.
Oh, and actually, that reminds me. As a ritual, can I also identify the shovel that we had?
You don't have ritual casting,
Oh yeah, that's right.
but you can
No.
you can cast a spell
I
before
thought
you.
you spell slot.
I mean, you have spell slots before you went to sleep, right?
Yeah, so can I do that in my
Yeah.
drunken stupor?
Sure, that's fine. In your drunken stupor. So
That's
as you're
what I
like,
just eel sticking out on my forehead like idiot. Remember this?
so you just kind of like you have the shovel and you're just kind of like you kind of like take it and you kind of hold it to you and you're like, oh yeah, and then you cast identify and that's when you fell asleep. So here's what it is. Magic items. Let me make sure I've got a thing here. Okay. So you've actually held on to this for a while, so you are technically attuned to it, so you feel this too. Show to players. It is that.
Okay.
Sunni's Spade. Wondrous item. Uncommon rarity rating. This magical spade allows the user to cast Mold Earth without any material components, which is something I need to add, other than the spade/shovel itself. And holding onto it for a while, you notice that there's sort of a benevolent presence in the tool.
Does it feel sentient anywhere, or do I just feel like a niceness in it?
You just feel a niceness in it.
Okay. Well, I slap it on my back. I'm not sure who wants it, but I'll ask the party and I'll let them know about it.
Okay. So today, you're done with breakfast, and I assume you're gonna head back to Twiddles and Fiddles to meet up.
Yeah, just give cheek kisses to both my parents and say, yes. I'm going. I have things, and I run over across the street. And is it dead, or does it actually still have some smaller patrons hanging about?
It has some patrons that are there. Look like they're there for breakfast. It's not really lively or anything. It's pretty dead in here, but it's open.
I'll just talk to the barkeep. Is it the same one, or is it a new one?
And Twiddles and Fiddles?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you see Hum and Carahill there.
Oh, I see them. All right.
Yeah. And for the sake of brevity, I'm going to say
City.
that Zachriel and Illyria walk in the door at that moment, too.
Crouched in the door.
Oh,
I
you're
look
in the
at
door?
that.
Will I bump into you?
We're all going to be crushed in the door.
I look at them with my mouth full of food and say, "Good morning."
Hum is talking away with Giso, telling him about what they've done so far. And
He's just listening with with great intent. Just totally interested.
And I tell him I was not myself. I was very mean to a little boy, and I don't even know where it came from. He just scared me.
He just kind of nods and he says, I'm sure you won't be like that. I'm sure that it's just a passing thing. Don't worry. You're a very kind person, Hum.
Hi, everybody.
Morning. Is
Morning.
your brother all right?
Good to see you all.
So your brother's good, right?
He's pretty banged up, but he's gonna make it.
That's good.
Well, we got to get over there and ask Valiant what went on.
Yes, I'm just headed over now. Wanted to see if you guys wanted to tag along.
Has anybody seen Zachriel this morning?
I'm right here.
As he just sort of walks closer.
Well, hi there.
Hello.
How did you sleep last night?
Fair enough.
Have you eaten? Giso,
Yes,
add his
I've
meal to my bill.
I've already. Okay.
You're going to be
Sydney.
eating again, it seems.
Giso kind of like leans over the bar and he says, he looks at Zachriel, he kind of like appraises you and he says, "What'd you have for breakfast?"
Dry tack.
He kind of blinks and says, Do you want a plate of eggs?"
Yes.
And bacon.
Can't have breakfast
Sausage
without
is the
bacon.
best. Have that.
So
Okay.
he serves you up a plate and hands it to you across the bar.
Thank you.
Well, we're all here. I bring the shovel and I kind of put it on top of the bar. I've managed to identify exactly what this thing is. It's known as a
shovel?
Sunni's Spade. It allows generally someone who's not proficient with casting to cast a spell, Mold Earth. You can kind of move Earth. So anyone who has need of digging, very commonly, or wants to move around dirt for fun, I mean, we all found it together. I'm free for anyone.
You're telling me that this is a shovel that moves dirt itself.
It lets you almost like wave your hand and do it rather than actually using the shovel.
I can think of many people that would put this to use.
Will they? Well, if you have them, I wouldn't be mind selling it if the party doesn't mind splitting the money.
I'm good with that.
There's plenty of farmers around here.
Pulls a pack from underneath the table and slams it on. We gotta split this up too.
All right, so everyone finishes up breakfast.
When I put down myself, I'm not going to get out of the
You alright?
It's all good. Roommate's on the phone. Just a little bit over there.
Alright. So big sack of money on the table.
Nobody's eyeing the money.
So I mean, Giso is just like he's just like looking around. He looks at the cash that you have on the bar, and he's just he
No, it's in a bag. He can't see what's in
well,
there.
he
It's
heard the
just a big
jingles,
bag.
so
No worries, good man. You'll get your part.
he's just looking around. He just kind of like a couple of the patrons are just kind of eyeing the sack, and they're just kind of like, and they just go about their day.
Maybe we should do this somewhere more quieter.
What everybody thinks best.
I've just noticed some interesting eyes fixed upon the bags.
She
Uh,
puts the bag back underneath her.
So after having a full meal in your system, Tadias, are you there? Miles?
He's muted.
I know he's muted. I'm asking him if he's there.
Sorry, I had to do some stuff. I'm right back.
Okay. After having a full meal in your stomach for a little bit, your brain starts to kick on. Roll an Arcana check.
Oh, I can do that for sure.
So the name Sunnis, it kind of like rings a bell, but you don't know where from. You just know that it rings a bell for some reason, and it seems pretty. It seems like it would have some significance, but you just can't put your finger on it at this moment.
Understood. Be one more second.
Well, the rest of you, how'd you sleep?
There's nothing like your own bed sometimes.
Sorry, noises assaulting everywhere. I'm trying to. Alright, okay. So, I tell the team I think Sunnis does have some sort of significance. I don't know it. Any of you recall that name? Sunnis?
No, none of you do.
I might talk to someone about this, maybe that. Perhaps it is good to hold on to a friend. However, I do feel like I'm hoarding all the items. Is there any interest in one of the magic missiles, the spade, the dirt
I
glue?
loved that ruby from the other night.
Ooh, speaking of which, I reach into my bag and I pull out the ruby. I say, I managed to get it out of the glaive pretty easily. Would you mind letting me see your crossbow?
I hand it over and start clapping and say, "Goody!"
I find the most appealing place to adorn this bow with the ruby.
Okay.
And do so.
All right. You do so, and it takes a couple minutes, and the ruby magically affixes itself to the crossbow.
I kind of whip it right back and I say, yeah, you might be able to actually do some of those castings with the crossbow now.
Yay!
All right, well, I'll hold on to the items, but if you ever need any of them, let me know. I'm an open book when it comes to sharing. So, what is on today's agenda, friends?
We need to go talk to Valian, Alaria's brother's assistant to find out if we can find out more about what happened, and maybe he's heard more rumors about the river sweeping up Zachriel's family.
Understood.
Good.
Let us do
So
it
the
then.
best place to find him would be the Simple Heat. So let's head that way.
Didn't the marshal also say something about talking another marshal?
He said that he was going to pay a visit to the person that's in charge of the outlying area from Forthstride, the farmland and such. He said that he was going to chat with him, but he didn't say.
Okay.
Yeah, he said that he was going to chat with him. Nobody asked where or anything, so he didn't answer that because nobody asked. But he said he didn't task you with talking to him. He just said that I'll go speak with him. He was just kind of making idle chat about that.
So yeah, more clues about the injury seem useful. I'll kind of stand up from the bar, smile and nod at the bartender that's been so kind to us, and say, "We ready to go?"
I'm
Alrighty.
always up for a venture.
Hmm.
And maybe we should go talk to the marshal today to see what he found out from his friend.
That could work as well. Let's do that.
So
I
you
try to walk.
guys leave the bar.
Yeah.
So you guys know the way. It's unless Hum wants to take advantage of her background feature. Do you know what your background feature is, Hum?
I don't think I know what you're speaking of.
So for D&D, your background feature is you get a little thing.
Urchin.
Yeah.
Okay. How do I take advantage of that?
Just
Probably
for,
looks something like this.
Yeah. Usually it's like a passive call. So if your ability was like to traverse town twice the speed, you can just lead
Sweet.
us through backgrounds and stuff like that.
just for funsies, if you wanted to do that.
That.
Yeah. There you go.
Sure. So I show everybody the back roads so that we can go faster in town.
Couple alleyways here and there, and instead of having to go this way and then this way, you kind of just cut through here, and you're there lickety split as you're crossing the river on this bridge.
Handy.
So as you're, I'm just gonna take your tokens. Okay. So as you're crossing the bridge, the water flows underneath you at a pretty significant clip, and off to your. Oh, nice.
All right. I will add it to my sheet.
Off to your left, you see a small flow of water coming out from, or rolling down the hill between houses, and sort of under these small pipes that uphold up the streets. They're not small pipes; they're like big things that like let the water run through, and it runs into the river. You cross the street and you start climbing up the hill. Solid Strides is here, which is the elemental guild that Illyria's brother owns. I want you guys going that way. Where are you going?
Well, I'm headed that way.
I'm following behind.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm following as well.
So as you get
I'm
to
following home.
here, Tadias, you hear a familiar voice. You hear Tadias, my boy.
I'll go, and I go. Big old hug. What are you doing here?
He says, well, I work around here. He points in that direction toward clear winds and sails.
Did you change buildings? I haven't been to the new facility.
Wait a minute. did I misplace or did I forget?
Well, I wasn't sure. I usually, work through the archaeological society. I don't actually go to Wind and Sails too often.
Well, he owns Winds and Sails as well. So
Yeah, I know.
oh, you're joking with him. Okay.
Yeah.
He okay. He chuckles, and he says, well, I go back and forth between them from time to time.
Mm. And yet you still manage to keep this gut up. It's surprising. A little less, maybe. I know Zia makes good.
He laughs. He says, oh, I have wonderful news. He says, when you get a chance, he says, come join me in my workshop. I have to show you something.
I can absolutely manage so. But for right now, Uncle, we do have some business to take care of. I'll see you soon.
He says, glad to hear it, lad. And he claps your shoulder, and he just lets you take your leave, and he starts walking off himself.
Sorry for the distraction. Shall we continue?
Let's.
So you guys round, and you guys make it to Solid Strides. The door is the entrance is sort of a open plan affair. The door is sort of this. It's got like a large pane of glass in a stone door, and it's a little heavy, but it's easy to open. And is Illyria the first one to walk in? I feel like she would
I'm
be.
following her
Wait
down.
Second.
Yes.
Okay, on the map you actually had it. This building there.
I did. See it. No. No. Solid Strides is the one that your brother owns, not Simple Heat.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
No problem.
Yeah, I walk in, look
So-
around, see if I can find Valiant.
Okay, so you walk in and there's a receptionist there who recognizes you instantly and says, "Oh, Illyria, how did you disappeared? We were worried about you."
I'm fine now. I'm returned. Hey, have you seen Valiant? I really need to speak with him.
She says, "Oh, sure, I'll fetch him for you." Or you know where his office is? So I can let you in, no problem.
Yep. And I'm gonna go to, I guess, his office.
Okay, so she lets you in, and she kind of stops the rest of the party for a second. She says, "Who are they with you?"
Oh, yes. Sorry, they are with me.
Oh, okay. And she just kind of lets all of you walk in. And as you walk in, you look around and you see a couple workshops through like window doors. You see one room where there's an individual that's working on a gate to bring Earth Elemental into the material plane. And it looks, you would think that it'd be interesting, but the work he's doing, it looks quite boring. Somehow you make bringing an extraplanar entity into the material plane boring. It's quite an interesting sight. But
Yeah, tedious paper pushing.
yeah. So, but you walk through the halls and you take a left, and then you're in front of a door that has a plaque that says Valen on it, and you sort of, there's a window in this door, and Illyria, you peek in and you see a younger elf working at his desk, and you recognize this person as Valian.
Okay. Did you say the door was closed?
It's closed.
Okay, so I just kind of peek through the window, knock on the door.
He looks up from his paperwork, whatever he's doing. He sees you, and his eyes go wide, and he ushers you in. And the door's open. It's unlocked, I mean.
Okay, I open the door.
He As you open the door and enter, he says, "Oh, Illyria, are you all right? You disappeared.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Do you know what
But
happened?"
no, do you know what happened?
He says, "Have a seat." He gestures to like one of the chairs. There's 2 chairs in here.
Okay. And I guess
He
I
sees everyone
usher
else
in the
behind
other
you, and
guys.
he sees everyone else behind you, and he just kind of like furrows his brow, and they're with you, right?
Yes, they are with me.
And he relaxes a bit, and he says, "Well, they can come in as well. It'll be a little cramped, but not a problem." And he says, "Well, what happened? Here's what I know. Uh, it's really hard to pronounce your brother's name. Altosi took you into his workshop, and he was showing you a prototype for a project. And the next thing we knew, on the outside, there was a loud crash, and he started screaming, and then a full-fledged earth elemental burst through the door. Took us a while, and we had some help from the militia, but we took him down and took him apart. But when we investigated what happened in the room, and it was just a lot of dirt and a large mound of just rubble right next to where the prototype was."
So how did I end up in the middle of the forest?
He just looks as bewildered as you felt when you showed up there. He says, I don't know.
What exactly was my brother doing? Do you know?
Well, he was just working on a new way of processing ore from Orboro.
Or from
Orboro. There's a city called Orboro. Let me show you on the map, because you would know where it is, just by association of hanging out with your brother. Wait, hold on. You see it? Hello? Did I just lose everything? Hello? Whoa. Oh no, why is my audio not working? Huh. Why did everything die? Okay, well, I'm going to stop streaming for now. I know, I had this problem before. OBS just like took out everything for no reason. So I'm just gonna have to stop the stream for a second. I might have to restart.